Huntington Beach, California with South African coach Wayne Riddin. How are you doing? It's been a long flight.
Yeah, it's been a long flight, but it's always nice to come to Los Angeles. It's really great to be here.
Well, Wayne, you have a great notoriety as the coach of Darian Townsend, 2004 Olympian, and Nick Volker, who's now the strength coach up at Cal. Tell us about what's going on in South Africa, particularly after this last Olympic Games.
Oh, well, obviously, swimming is on a high there because of the medals from Chad Leclos and Cam van der Berg. So, we're looking forward to the next 4 years being something that'll increase swimming, both from, learn to swim right up to masters swimming. So I think we're in for a good one for the next 4 years.
Now, Wade, of course, you are, like I said, have great notoriety for your pool swimming success, your athletes, but you are also instrumental as the race director of the world's largest open water swim, the Midmar Mile. It's going into its 40th year. You were telling me all about it. Give us a little background on that event.
Well, obviously, we now got wonderful sponsors. They produce fresh water, and they give bottled water out, and the Quella sponsors are always the people that I'm sort of really so thrilled to have on board, and they've even committed for another 3 years. So the 40th anniversary is going to be a big one for us. But when we go back to day one in 1974, we only had 153 swimmers starting that event, and over a period of about 10 years, it went up to about sort of 1,500 people, and then they wanted to actually stop the entries at 2,500. That's when I got involved as an organizer 22 years ago, and we've grown it up to 16,000 now. So we're hoping that we get our Guinness Book of Records next year in our 40th anniversary, and we're aiming at 20,000.
Well, 16,000, that's phenomenal. Obviously, safety is of paramount concern. How do you do an event with 16,000 people?
Well, the safety has always been the major thing that we concentrate on, because there's kids from 5 years old right up to people at 88 years old. So that's a range of age groups swimming. It's over 4 events on the one day, on the Saturday, and 4 events on the Sunday. So we batch everybody. We break them into a maximum of 600 in each batch, and the batches swim 3 minutes apart so that we can keep an eye on them. And then it's obviously the lifesavers. They're professional trained lifesavers that come in there, about 120 that line the course. And then we've got the South African Police Diving Unit. We have the Navy coming in to help us. So really the support we get is absolutely phenomenal, and we can't do it without them. So we've got to say big thanks to all of those support groups that nobody really sees very often.
Well, Wayne, you bring in some very top athletes every year. I mean, last year from the United States, you brought in our national champion Ashley Twitchell, Carrie Ann Payne, the Olympic bronze medalist. She was at your event last year. Top field of top competitors, but you also do some very interesting things with pairing youngsters and olders. Tell me how that works.
Well, obviously, the whole event is to push families, and the highlight of the thing is the 2 competitive races on the Sunday, which is where Carrie Ann Payne and Ashley Twitchell had a really great race this year. But what we do is we try and bring the families in. So on the first day, we involve the family events where mom and dad can swim with their kids. We also have a company event where companies can, choose, teams amongst their own companies come along and swim, and you can have 3 in a company or 5, whichever way you want it. We have non-company events where you can promote development of swimmers and things like that. So we try and give it that even spread. It's more of a social day on the Saturday, with the competitive day on the Sunday. But the first event is what always amazes us. We have the disabled swimmers competing, and when you look at that and you see how the people finish, really we've got no room to ever complain. So really it's something I look forward to every year, is just how those disabled swimmers come and finish on the slipway. The absolutely courage is just something we haven't seen yet.
Well, and certainly you can't talk about great disabled swimmers, Paralympians and Olympians from South Africa without mentioning Natalie du Toit. She was out here a couple years ago, trained at the Natadors. I got to watch her there. She's a phenomenal athlete. I heard some great things about her at the Paralympic Games. What's the buzz on her in South Africa?
Well, she's obviously gone into retirement now after the Paralympics. We've had her swim the Midmar Mile once before. A little bit difficult with her. We had a very low water year that year, so it was very difficult. We had her starting in the water. I think she came 3rd in that year, and then she's also been one of the presenters there to ask a few questions along the way and things like that. So very much part of our event as well, and we hope to have her back at some stage.
Wayne, not only does your event have huge popularity in South Africa, but there's a lot of international travel involved in this event, and now you're working with other sponsors to bring people in. Can you tell us about how people find out more about the travel and the event itself?
Well, if we go to the Midmar Mile website, it's Midmar Mile, one word, .co.za. You'll actually see there's a section that you can just go and click on to go to Midmar Mile Travel, and they'll help, hopefully, you know, sort of put together packages for anybody in the United States to come through and actually compete at the event and have a good time there. It's a very cheap holiday for United States people.
Well, I'll tell you, it's certainly one I have on my calendar, and I hope to be attending. So we wish you the best as you head into your 40th year. We're sure it's going to be another world record attempt.
It'll be great to have you there as well.